What's up, guys? This is the Grim Gamer. My friends like this one call me D. Welcome back to the channel for another video. And if you've been watching over the past like 3 months, you'll know that I was doing the subscription, like in the mail services for retro games, and I didn't have the best of luck. And so I had he knows all about it. But I wasn't having the best of luck, but I didn't want to give up on these like mystery box for retro games, and so I came up with a spin on it, a twist on it, if you will, on how to do this.
Twist it.
So
Pop it. Flick it.
Pull it. But so I got my best friend here. I've known him, what now, 20 years or more?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so those of you who don't know, this is Nostalgic Nick.
Hello.
And he's going to be helping me with this little experiment and this twist on the mystery retro game box.
Maybe.
So I got a box here, and we are at Replay.
You got a box.
I got a box here, and we are at Replay in Toledo. I have shown you guys this place in one of my game hunting videos sometime back also. But what we're going to do is I'm going to give Nostalgic Nick here, I guess a list of guidelines to go by. I'm going to sit here in the car.
How dare you put rules on me?
How dare you? But I'm going to sit here in the car, which is going to pain me slightly. I'm in a game store. I want to go in. I want to look. I want to get stuff, right? I'm going to get stuff. But what he's going to do is he's going to take this box. He is going to take some money, my money, and a list of games that I currently already own, so he doesn't get me duplicates. And he's going to go in here and he's going to get me some games. He's going to put them in this box. I'm going to then take them home and I'm going to do an unboxing, just like I did with the subscription services that I had previously been doing. So
what I gotta do? Tell him to seal this while I'm in there. So
no, I don't know if they'd actually do that. They might.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them to seal it.
Hey, they might do that.
With super glue, duct tape, and then wrap it, and steel.
Put a bow on it.
I said, I want you guys to put this stuff in the box, and I want you to weld it closed.
You're right.
Well, you can just have it now.
Yeah. So, anyways, the guidelines is I'm basically gonna go with, if I would have kept the VGM box, which was the last one that I got, and go that route. So we may do this again in the future, and this may change, but for this first time out, we're gonna go with the $55 limit, which is what I would have spent on that next box. The consoles are the Sega Genesis, the Nintendo GameCube, and the original PlayStation. And $55, 5 games, at least 5 games. If he can get a deal, which this guy is a master of getting deals. It's what he does.
Most of the time.
You know, maybe there might be extra ones in there. We don't know. It's a mystery. But
it's gonna be a surprise.
So once he does that, he's gonna come back out. We're gonna take this box home and we're gonna do the unboxing and see how he does. But before we do that, I wanna inform you guys of what Nostalgic Nick here does.
What do I do?
He makes some really nice laser engraved stuff. And he's made some really nice stuff for me already as well. Some things I have shown you, and as I'm talking currently, I'll probably put some pictures of some of the things he's made me and things like that. Do you still do the woodworking, or is it strictly glass now?
I can do wood, but I've favored glass recently. Glass is nicer, it's cleaner. So I've been having fun with the glass, but it doesn't mean I don't do wood and won't do wood.
I meant to ask you that question before we started this recording to just make sure I had my facts straight. But again, I will show you some, I probably already did, show you some pictures of some of the stuff he's made me, and I'll show you some pictures of the stuff that he's currently working on and doing. And there will be a link in the description box below to his website. It's nostalgicnicks.com, correct?
Yes.
So you can go on there, you can check all of the products that he is currently making, and you know,
and it's getting updated pretty regularly. We're continuously pumping out, making more new stuff. And we have more than just laser engraved products as well. We got, you know, print on demand products of my own design. We also have, you know, accessories and stuff for your retro consoles, even parts if you do repairs, you know, HDMI ports, that kind of stuff. So it's all very cool.
Yeah, so check that out. Again, there'll be a link in the description box below, and for his website, and probably also for his social media as well. So you can check all of that out. So with that being said, Nostalgic Nick is going to take this box. He's going to go in here and he's going to get me some games. So stick around for the unboxing and see what we got inside. All right, so my boy, Nostalgic Nick, he's been in here for a good minute now. And the anticipation's building. You know, I talked about how I didn't want to give up on these subscription services because part of the appeal of it to me was, you know, knowing that box is in the mail and wondering to myself, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? You know, there's that anticipation there. And it's the same with this. Like, what is he going to grab for me? And knowing Nick, he's going to... he's gonna have something in there that's just gonna make me go, bro, seriously, why'd you do this to me? I feel that coming. So there's anticipation, and I'm slightly concerned. I'm not sure what I got myself into. But it should be interesting nonetheless. Again, stay tuned for that unboxing. This has already been fun, but I'm so curious and somewhat worried about what he's gonna pick up for me. All right. Nostalgic Nick is back.
Hello.
Box, sealed and all, as he said he would do. I got punches on my card, and he even came back with change. So I don't know how the hell he managed that one. But look at this guy.
Oh, it's good. We did good. We did good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mentioned it earlier. I'm slightly nervous. Is this a face you can trust?
Oh, you can trust it. Oh, yeah, you won't be disappointed. That's all good stuff. I didn't put Barbie in there for you.
Well,
I should have. In hindsight, I should go back in there, blow that other $3 on something stupid. But no, I think we did well.
All right, I was slightly worried about that. Actually, take your word for it.
That's actually a personal selection. That's a personal taste of cheap games.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, all right, guys, we have our box. It is full of games, and we're going to head home, and we're going to crack open the first ever Nostalgic Nick's Retro Game Mystery Box.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
We'll see you there. All right, guys, so we made it back to the house, here with Nostalgic Nick, and we got a box.
It's a box.
And
certainly is.
Feels pretty hefty. There's games in here.
Yeah, there's something in there.
There's something in there. So
games, maybe.
It's like, this is turning into a video you didn't know you wanted to do.
Yeah, I might have actually went through the back door and found another store.
No.
Yeah, they're hiding something secret back there you don't know about.
But as I go to crack the seal on this, I had a question for you.
Okay.
So I didn't get this for the video, but as you were walking out of the store, you had a grin on your face.
Oh, yeah.
Just like this. And it gave me two thoughts. One, what the hell did he do? What did I do? I don't know. I don't know how confident I really am with this. This might have been a poor decision. But on the other hand, you also gave me the idea, just from that look, that you actually really enjoyed doing that.
I did.
You know,
I really enjoyed. That was a lot of fun. It was a really good thing. You know, so you know the whole thing with the Nostalgic Nick's brand, right, is to bring back the old feelings and stuff. Mm-hmm. So going in there with your money to buy stuff was like Dad buying me games. Back in the back in the day, and it kind of had a similar vibe and feel to it. I had to be selective and choosy about what I wanted to grab. So it was kind of cool. Except the problem is, since I couldn't find anything good, I bought $50 worth of Pokemon energy cards. That's actually what's in the box.
Now that all makes sense. No, but I got just the feeling that, this was, and we haven't even done the unboxing part of it yet, which is what I'm really looking forward to, and I think is a lot of fun, and you'd be able to let me know why you selected certain games and all that kind of thing. And but just the going in and looking through the inventory and selecting stuff to put in this box, for me, just looked like you had a good time even just with that part of it. So
I did. I enjoyed myself. I did have a good time, and then ran into somebody we knew there, and Yeah, it was a pleasant experience. It was nice.
So, I'm going to remind all of you.
Well, don't cut yourself. We don't pay workman's comp.
Yeah, right. I don't want to do that now. Now, I want to remind you all just how I do this. So, just like with my other unboxings, I'm going to reach in. I'm going to kind of do a blind feel. See what I can do by feel. Figure out what games for what consoles may be in here. Because I don't know. That's the whole point. And again, we had a $55 limit with a minimum of 5 games. And for consoles such as the original PlayStation, the Nintendo GameCube, and the Sega Genesis.
Now, if I may, hand me the box.
Okay.
Before you start digging in there, we're going to do kind of move them around a little bit. I'm trying to be careful. I know it's fragile.
Yeah, right.
These things are as old as we are, and we already know we're falling apart.
Yeah, right.
So, all right. Now, you like to reach in here, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah. So, what we're going to do is I'm not going to look.
Yep, no looking. You can't see anything.
No looking.
He's actually completely blind right now.
So, we've got, there's a Genesis. There is, wait a minute. We got a Super Nintendo in here? That wasn't part of the plan. There's a Super Nintendo in there. There's a second Genesis.
There could be a Super Nintendo in there.
Jewel case, assuming PlayStation. Another jewel case, I'm assuming PlayStation. There's 5. Wait a minute.
Since I can see in there.
A third jewel case, so another PlayStation. So what is that, 6?
Could be, maybe.
And
possibly.
then, in the bottom, feels like a game. Hold on. If I can feel that notch down there, which it is, that's a GameCube case. So what? That's 7 games in here.
Oh,
Am I counting that right?
Something like that.
And you did all that for $55?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So already we might be off to a good start here, guys.
I don't actually remember how many games there are, but you might have miscounted. It's possible.
Still?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
So
I don't remember.
2 Genesis. Yeah, Super Nintendo, which that's out of left field. 1, 2, 3 jewel cases. GameCube case. Yeah, I'm counting 6, but I might be missing one in my fumbling around here.
Well, I hope something didn't get missed. Well, the receipt's in there either way, so if we are missing something,
okay, all right,
we'll know.
We'll know by the time we get.
Don't look at it.
Yeah,
no cheating.
Trying not to. There's a sticker that's coming off.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's that.
I'll take it to the secret layer here.
Secret layer.
Yeah.
All right. We'll hold off for just a moment here. All right. So we said there's supposed to be 8. So,
yeah.
And I'm only
There's supposed to be 5.
Oh, okay. But all for $55. So now I'm very curious. So as I'm going to do with all my other unboxings, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull each game out one at a time. I will show the camera. We may talk about it here for a little bit, and again, he might tell me why he selected that. And then I will cut to some gameplay of the game that I'll probably record after all of this recording. Give you my thoughts and opinions on said games, and then wrap it up by looking at price charting for value and all that kind of stuff, just to see. I know it's a little bit different compared to like a regular subscription box, thing, but we'll see. So we're gonna start.
Yeah, those people still have to make a profit somehow.
Right, exactly. Let's see what these games are. Again, we're gonna start with a cartridge-based game, so we're gonna go with Genesis first. First one. Are we ready?
Da-da-da!
I can't see it because it's too far away, but I wanted to make sure that Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. Okay. If this is what I think it is, I've seen some gameplay from it at some point, and it's nothing like Pac-Man that you would imagine.
Not even close.
And so,
not even remotely close to Pac-Man.
If this is the Pac-Man that I think it is, I'm not so sure about this one. we'll have to we'll have to give it a shot, obviously. But.
Easily gonna hate that game.
Well, then why'd you pick it? Let's go with that. Why was this one of your selections?
So I actually enjoyed the game a lot when I was young.
Oh, did you?
I had it for
okay.
the Super Nintendo, which is funny because it says Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures. I think the one for the Super Nintendo, I might have to Google it. I think the name is different.
Really?
Yeah. but I'm pretty sure it's the same game. But either way, I played Pac-Man 2 a lot when I was younger, and I did enjoy it. But yeah, it's nothing like the arcade at all.
Okay.
It's an adventure game.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not gonna rip it apart just yet. I'm gonna have to play it here a little bit. So speaking of,
that's gonna be a fun game for you to watch.
Let's hook up the Sega Genesis and let's take a look at some gameplay from Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures.
Waka 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 waka.
Oh boy, Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures. This is no Pac-Man. And right from the start, I gotta say this. I hate the fact that I can't control Pac-Man. He walks where he wants, he stops when he wants, and since he stops and goes whenever he wants, I don't get the chance to observe things in the level to try to figure out what I'm supposed to be hitting with the slingshot to make him interact with things. And it's all trial and error, too. Some things you can get him to interact with, others it seems like he doesn't, and several things, once you get him to interact with them, there is negative consequences to several of these things. And I mean, I like the way it looks. I think Pac-Man looks good here, and many things within the levels look good, but the fact that I have limited to no control over the title character that I thought I was supposed to be playing, it really takes me out of this one. I feel like there's an interesting game here, but because of how the game functions, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to get into this one. Pac-Man 2, not my Pac-Man. So that's number one. Now, we'll go with... There's the second one. So, Genesis game number 2. We've got, and again, I can't see it. It is Tin Head. I am not familiar with Tin Head at all. I think I've heard the name before. Like, the name Tin Head sounds familiar, but other than that, I don't know anything about this.
We might have, possibly have. I don't remember. I feel like we did, but maybe we didn't. I could be making up memories. In my old age, this happens. It comes with each new gray hair. It's either a fake memory or one you've lost. I think one day we were hanging out and we were playing on the Switch. And, they got the Genesis collection stuff on there.
Yeah.
You pay for the thing. I think Tin Head might have been one of the games we kind of like skimmed through real fast. But I grabbed that, personally. You might enjoy this anecdote.
Okay.
When I was a young lad, when they still had game rental stores and crap like that, we got that, and I enjoyed the game during the time, at least that I remember, but it was short-lived, and me and my brother fought a lot over who was going to get to play the system and stuff. So I didn't really actually get to play it as much as I probably would have liked as a young person. So I barely remember the game, but I do remember it. And what has made me grab that one specifically is because every time I've tried to remember that game, the name for the game eludes me.
Slips your mind.
So now I'm like, bang, Tin Head, better grab that.
Okay.
Yeah, get it out of here so we always got something to reference.
Right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, alright, well, with the Genesis still hooked up, let's pop this in and let's check out some gameplay from Tin Head. Tin Head on the Sega Genesis. Yet another 16-bit 2D platformer. However, I enjoyed this one. The controls feel very responsive. The jumping feels good and pretty accurate. His little bullets, or whatever they are, you can change the direction in which to fire them. Since I'm not great at a lot of these games that are like this, it was nice to feel that it seems fairly forgiving, which I like. You get little batteries that you can pick up and add to your overall health, and you can carry 5 of them at a time, but the game seems to give you more pretty regularly, at least early on in the game, in the early stages. There's a lot of things to pick up and collect, but without the manual and not looking it up, I don't know what many of these things are, what they do, or what they're for. But overall, Tin Head was fun to control. This opening level was fun. I like the design of the levels. The music was fine, no problems there. And there's a story about an alien goblin sucking up all the stars in the galaxy or something, and Tin Head needs to stop him. Overall, this one was a surprise to me. I enjoyed playing it, and I look forward to playing more of it. Happy to add Tin Head to my collection. All right, sticking with the cartridge-based stuff, I don't feel...
Don't do the cartridges yet.
Well,
The Super Nintendo games are bonuses.
Games? There's another one in here that I wasn't feeling? I only felt one. Okay.
There should be another one in there. I hope there's
Oh, it's actually underneath the jewel cases, so that's where I was miscounting. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, since those are bonuses, and that's not something I originally was selecting to get games for, we'll save the Super Nintendo
You
for
weren't
last.
supposed to get those.
Oh, right, yeah, exactly. So those are bonuses. So, all right, so onto the jewel cases. And again, I think 3 of those. So, for the original PlayStation, try to make sure I have it facing forward here. First up, the OG PlayStation. We've got Caesar's Palace.
Womp, womp, womp.
Caesar's Palace. I don't think I've ever played this one. But growing up, my mom actually played games like this.
Yeah.
And
She probably played that one.
No. The one that we had when we were kids, it was actually a dual disc one, and it was Golden Nugget.
Oh yeah, Golden Nugget.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So I've played like Golden Nugget on the PS1 in the past, and so I would imagine that Caesar's Palace here is something similar.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily hate this from time to time, playing, some dice games or, some blackjack or something. It's not very often, but like I don't hate the idea. So, any specific reasons why you chose this one?
Yeah. Well, as a young guy, I was always weird like that. That I liked games like that. I liked making money.
Even then.
Yeah. So. Like, I was always fascinated with it. Like, I mean, you remember, like, with SimCity. Like, I just let the city burn down while I go to school and I come back and I'd be rich. You know what I mean? So, like, Caesar's Palace is a similar thing. I played the one on the Super Nintendo a ton.
Okay.
Right? And when we got the PlayStation and stuff, both my dad and my aunt, they both had Caesar's Palace on the PlayStation. So, from time to time, I would throw that in and play it on the PlayStation. And so it's like, and I think my dad also had Golden Nugget too.
Okay.
So, and I would enjoy gambling, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always found that to be a lot of fun. I learned how to play blackjack really young.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the way to go.
Good deal. I like the fact that it's really nice and tight in the case. That's nice. The disc looks basically flawless.
Oh,
So-
that was, I should say this now, and I'm glad the disc looks good. The game store I went to, I didn't have direct access to this stuff, so I couldn't check the quality before we walked out with them.
Okay.
A lot of them were in sealed,
Cases,
locked cases that they
Right.
had
Yeah.
to, unlock. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, thievery is a thing.
Right. So, all right. Gotta hook up the original PlayStation, but let's check out some gameplay from Caesar's Palace.
Bets. Player has 20.
Good old casino games. I seem to recall games like this that you can walk around the casino, pick different tables or games to play. Caesar's Palace? Not one of them. At a main screen, you just pick a game, the game loads, and you're playing. Sort of. The loading times in this game are atrocious. And, for a game that only has a couple of simple casino games, it takes forever to even get from one menu to another and then one game to another. I mean, it's bad. You can play, traditional casino games, blackjack, roulette, slots, and there's a couple other ones, but it's a pretty boring game, honestly. I mean, I guess graphically the game looks good. But I guess that's all I can really say about it, really. I mean, I guess if you enjoy playing virtual casino games, this will do the trick, but if not, there's not much for you here with this game. And I'm in the latter camp. Caesar's Palace, well, it's a bust for me. All right, so next up, another original PlayStation game, and we've got...
What could it be?
It is, what is that, Need for Speed?
That's Need for Speed.
Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. Okay.
True classic.
You know, I've never played this one.
Actually, quite the gem. Also, and I almost got the original Gran Turismo, but the one they had didn't have the original case. It was a fake case.
Yeah,
and stuff.
not a
So
fan
it's
of
like,
that.
Yeah, well, I'll pass.
Yeah, but okay.
They did have Gran Turismo 2 somewhere, I think in a case or whatever, but I'd already picked that out, and that's
Right.
That's a classic. So
You know, Need for Speeds. Oh, this is not good in here.
ooh, yeah,
That is
that's less than ideal.
so every little pin on the inside of this is busted
red
off, and well, the disc still looks fine, and luckily, I can replace that all day long.
Plastic's replaceable.
Yeah, that's not really that big of a deal, but that's not ideal. That's not perfect.
Unfortunately, the disc does look okay.
Yeah,
the
the
booklet
disc looks fine.
okay. I mean, so
Yeah.
the plastic.
Again, the jewel
couldn't see it before we bought it, so it's not like
the jewel cases you can replace all day long. That's not as big of a deal. But yeah, I've never played this one. I don't think I started playing Need for Speeds until the first Underground came out.
Really?
On the PS2, yeah. Now, any other like racing type games, like I'd play a little Gran Turismo, but not much. But mostly it was mostly NASCARs.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, but my dad was a huge NASCAR fan.
Yeah.
And he bought, just like the Maddens and the basketballs, he bought every NASCAR every single year. So we had NASCAR for days to play. So that's mostly what we played. Now, again, with starting out with like the Undergrounds, with the whole street racing scene when that really blew up in the early 2000s, that's what I think of when I think of Need for Speed. So I'm not really sure what to really expect here with this one. But I am curious, and I feel like it could be a bunch of fun. So,
a lot of your Need for Speeds are cop chase games.
yeah.
Basically, at the end of the day. So, I mean, that's more or less what you're getting there. But, you know, growing up in my house, you know, with my dad, if it had cars in it, we played
You had it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we played them all. We played the NASCAR, the Crazy Taxis, the, you know, the Driver, the, you know, Test Drive, the, you know.
Test Drive, that's one I haven't heard of in a minute.
You know, so if it had cars, we played it. You know,
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo, you know,
Yeah.
Need for Speed. We probably played every single Need for Speed series at some point or the other. You know, granted, I was pretty young for this. I mean, I like you, when Underground and Midnight Club and that came out, that's when I was like at peak racing game. But my biggest reason for picking that out is because you kind of can't go wrong with racing game. I mean, a lot of racing games do suck.
Yeah,
but, I mean, you're still going to enjoy the suck for at least 30 seconds.
Right.
You know?
So, well, we're going to see if it sucks for 30 seconds or if I'm actually going to enjoy this. So let's pop this into the original PlayStation and check out Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit.
Whee!
Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit is not what I think of when I think of Need for Speed. I go back to Underground, Underground 2, Pro Street, Carbon, things like that. I've never played any of the PS1 Need for Speed games before, and I gotta say, it's tough. I played many races, and most of the time, I don't even know where my opponents went. They just leave me behind, and I wasn't sure exactly how the hell I was ever supposed to keep up and win anything. But finally, after several attempts, I did win a race. On beginner. Again, it's a tough one. Maybe I just need to get good at the game, but man, I found it tough. In arcade mode, the cars at least could slide around the corners a little bit. But you can switch it to simulation, and in simulation, the cars, they don't want to turn at all. I mean, the handling is kind of terrible. Graphically, For the time, it looks okay. It's a little blocky, but I guess a lot of them did back then. But it looks okay. The sound seems fine. The music was all right. I haven't tried it yet, but I guess there are weather effects that are supposed to be pretty decent if you turn those on. If you turn some weather on, and it looks decent graphically with that too. All in all, this is another one I just need to spend some time with. But I don't know how often I'd come back to this one. But overall, Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, it's okay. All right, yeah, I'm very curious about that one. All right, so next up, we've got, I believe, what feels like the last of the jewel cases here. Something on that one feels broken. All right.
Quality could be a miss.
Yeah.
No worries, folks. We'll figure it out.
Front of it here. So, I believe, what should be the last original PlayStation game? Oh, what is that? Jet Moto 2. All right. Hell yeah. The Jet Moto 2 I did play, not a lot when I was younger, but...
It's a good one, though. It's fun.
The original Jet Moto, I think at our house when we were younger, kind of got skipped over. I don't think we ever had the original one, because I played a little of the original one recently, within the last year or two, and I'm like, this doesn't seem quite right.
Yeah.
I might not be remembering it right or something, but no, it was like Jet Moto 2 is the one that I had and did play for a time. So I'm excited about this, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I keep a list on my computer of games that come to mind that I really want to get. They're on my to-buy list, and I think this is one of them.
Nice.
So I'll have to double-check that, and
Glad
it
I
might
got that
not be,
right.
and if it's not, then it meant to be, because I've been meaning to pick this up.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. Now, this is another one where I'm going to have to replace.
Yeah.
Because
Jewel case is jacked.
Yeah.
I noticed while you were holding it, like I could see up at the corner, it's all just busted right up there.
So the hinges are busted off, but the manual is present. The game, it's in here. And once again, the disc looks solid. That's the main thing.
That's what matters.
Yeah. So
as long as we can play it.
I'm very excited about that. I'm actually very happy to have Jet Moto 2 in my collection now. It's a nice pick there, brother.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad I could do that.
So your reason for picking it out, though?
Well, the same reason. Played it a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is, with some of those games, especially when you're real young, they're way better than your memory of them is way better than they actually are.
They can be a lot of
It's like you were playing that stuff on a PS5, but when you're older and you go back, that was not a PS5.
Yeah, no.
That was far removed from all the technology.
No, that's
we have
back in the
today,
day when you have a brand new console come out and it's a Nintendo 64 or a PS1 and go, man, these graphics look amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like, how does it get much better than this?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I remember thought, and it felt so fast. Similar, because like you were talking about with the original Jet Moto. It's like my experience with Wave Race. Went back and played Wave Race recently, and I remember enjoying that game a lot more than I would today. That game's kind of trash.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, this has been one that I've thought about adding to my collection for a while. I'm happy to have it. And it was a very nice pick. I appreciate that.
Yeah, cool.
So let's pop it in and let's have some fun. Let's check out some gameplay from Jet Moto 2. Jet Moto 2 is a real blast from the past for me. I played this when I was a kid, and I've been meaning to pick it up for quite some time now. Playing it again for the first time in many, many, many years was a real treat. Mechanically, I feel like the hover bikes, they really glide. It feels smooth, at least most of the time. Some of that, I think, does just come down to the track, honestly. Like there was one that I tried where there's like cracks in the road, and it felt a bit janky at that point. But overall, it still feels pretty smooth. I don't remember some of the tracks being as awkward as they are in layout. That even the AI seemed to have trouble with a few of them that I tried, which was actually kind of funny. But overall, you know, I'm so happy that Nick selected this one for my box. I feel like this is something I could sit down and play for quite some time. I'm a little disappointed that the case is in as bad shape as it is, but a jewel case like this is easily replaceable. That's not really a huge problem. So all in all, I'm happy to have this one in my collection after all these years. All right. So that is now 5 games. So yeah, there's actually 3 more in here, and I can't believe you did this all with $50. That's kind of wild to me. Now, typically,
you gave me 55. You got change back, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I did. I got a couple dollars back out of that, actually. But typically, I do the GameCube games last because, again, we were talking actually on the way back home. The GameCube is something that the games are getting harder to come by in good condition for a decent price. Selections everywhere are pretty slim these days from my experience. So that's in the subscription box services and stuff that I was getting, that I was most curious and hoping for GameCube games. But the Super Nintendo games in here are completely out of left field and wasn't expecting. So we will save those for last. So this, because of that notch, that is a GameCube game. So we're going to try to get it to where I have the front of it here. I hope I have the front of it and it's not upside down. It might be. All right. Nintendo GameCube game. We've got... what is that? That is Pinball Hall of Fame. I
think that's Gottlieb.
Gottlieb collection?
Yeah, Gottlieb. I don't know. I imagine they make pinball machines.
Yeah, I'd have to look up to see what that exactly
I'm just going
means.
to cut straight to the chase here. You got this because that's what was in the price range.
Yeah,
right?
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's
the GameCube selection that was there wasn't overwhelmingly impressive, but even the games they had were the expensive titles.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
The next cheapest thing I could have got, and I actually probably could have gotten it in hindsight, could have bought it, but the price they had was over what it's worth.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
decided
refrained.
to pass.
But yeah, the other option was Pac-Man Versus and Pac-Man World. It was like one of those combo ones.
Yeah.
So
but
I
yeah,
could
I'm
have
sure
got
they were
that.
asking for quite a bit for that, I'm sure.
I mean, it was only like $17, but still more than what the game's worth, really. And I mean, pinball's pinball, man. I mean, we used to play that Space Cadet 3D or whatever on the Windows. So
I don't remember that one.
You didn't play that Windows XP or whatever?
No.
Yeah.
The only real pinball that I remember playing, which I've been also meaning to find and get a copy of, was on the Sega Genesis, and it's one that my mother still swears by, and I want to pick it up for her, actually. But it was Crew Ball.
Oh, okay.
Motley Crue Ball.
Motley Crue, yeah.
Yeah. But I typically I don't play a lot of pinball. Pinball is something that it loses my interest very quickly. But this says that
get good, son.
Yeah. Right. But no, this one does say that it is a collection. So it says here on the back, play 7 classic pinball tables from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So this one actually might be fun doing multiplayer because up to 4 players can play this apparently.
Oh, that's
so that might
be
GameCube
after all.
Yeah, So 7 classic tables are included, and I'd actually really be curious to know because it's got the names of them right here. If these were actual pinball tables from whoever this company is. I'm not familiar with that name.
That's what I think is going on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I love complete in-box stuff, regardless of what it is. Everything looks really good. That's in there nice and tight.
So you snap the disc, pulling it out of
I know, right?
Dang GameCube cases.
Yeah. All right. So, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this one overall, but let's hook up the GameCube and let's look at some gameplay from Pinball Hall of Fame, the Gottlieb collection.
Reasonably certain that's not how that's pronounced.
Probably not, but that's what we're going to roll with. Just like the ball in the pinball.
Bink. Ah! Sorry. Gotta shake the table from time to time.
You know, we didn't have a lot of arcades around us growing up, and really I can only think of one. I mean, they were kind of going out at that point anyways, but even then, I never played pinball in arcades or anything like that. Pinball was always kind of boring for me, but I can see why so many people enjoy it. As far as this game, it's a collection of pinball tables spanning multiple decades from a company called Gottlieb, a company I am not familiar with at all, and I probably just butchered the pronunciation of. Nick stuck around and played a majority of these games with me for a bit, and with this one, we tried multiple tables, and I seem to remember pinball tables being pretty quick-paced. And with this game, they seem to be pretty slow as far as their pacing. Maybe it's just me, but the action seemed pretty slow with this one. The tables look good, and they all had their own distinct look and feel. Some older tables are bare bones, while some newer ones, they had some more bells and whistles to them. I like that each table has a flyer for them that you can actually look up, and the game has like a museum section for each one where it kind of goes into a little bit of detail about each table and its history. Playing this with a friend was okay, but playing this solo, I don't see doing that. Overall, I guess it's fine for a pinball game, and with multiple tables to choose from, it changes things up a bit, but to me, it's just simply pinball, and it's only going to be so fun for so long. Still, it's a complete in-box GameCube game, and it would be a fun one to dust off and play with a friend from time to time. Alright, so already, with a $55 limit, which is what I would have spent on another box if I decided to do it, we're already at 6 games.
Yes,
so
and
that's very...
To be clear, that's where I stopped.
Okay.
And since I could afford it, you got 2 bonus Super Nintendo games because they're right in front of my face.
Yeah, they do. That particular place, again, there's video of it when I went there, but they have their display cases have like original Nintendo and Super Nintendo games and stuff in there, so they're right there when you go to check out. So even when you're checking out, you're still browsing. You know, so already 6 games. We already got bonus games, but we got more bonus games. I like bonus games. Do you like bonus games? I like bonus games. I like extra games. I love having extra games. I know you like having extra games. So here's another extra game. We've got Super Nintendo.
Just take a breath.
We got Super Nintendo games. So first one up. Again, I got to try to. I think I got the front of it here. I want to make sure of that. Try to anyway. So first one up, we've got. Oh, what is it? I can't see it in the thing, but that is what Ken is that Ken Griffey?
Yep.
Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna hate that.
Sports games, for me.
They're normally trash.
I don't know about trash. There's definitely good ones out there, but
No, them old cartridge-based ones, they made so many of them. That was the problem.
Well, there was a lot of sports games.
The Super Nintendo days, they made so many of these sports games. Football, hockey, and there's like a football and a hockey for like every famous player.
Yeah, they had every license, player license that they could get their hands on.
Yeah. So this got, I bought the, number one, I played the death out of that when I was younger.
Did you?
I played a lot of that. And another reason I got it is because as far as the older sports games go, that's up there.
One of the better ones?
It's a better title.
That's the thing. Like, I need to take a moment and say, I know my initial reaction is kind of like, but I've never played this one, so I don't really know. And so not all sports games are bad. In my opinion, there's a lot of bad sports games out there. But there's also really good ones, and if you say that this one is one of the better ones, then I'm interested to check it out.
Actually,
and see what's
that helped me teach me how to play baseball in real life.
Really?
Yeah, I mean my grandfather and my uncles, they're really big baseball fans to start with, but so I would have learned baseball no matter what.
Yeah.
But being at the age I was, and probably basically being T-ball age, really young. The game, playing that, helped me actually understand how baseball works.
Okay.
So
it's very, very neat. Nice to know. So, I need to take back my initial reaction.
No, it's trash.
And we're going to give this a shot. So we're going to hook up the Super Nintendo, and we're going to check out some gameplay from Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball. Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball. After only playing for a few minutes, there are some things about this game I like and others I don't. Now, I don't mind sports games or even baseball games, even though I've never been a huge baseball fan, but I've never played this one, so I have no nostalgia for it, and I think if I did, that would go a long way. This one, I like the upbeat music during the gameplay, and visually it doesn't look terrible, but the gameplay itself feels somewhat awkward to me. I may just be used to newer baseball games, but I don't care for the controls for this one. Having to use the D-pad to select the base that I'm throwing to feels a bit weird. I want to just hit like X, Y, B, or A, which would feel more natural to me and would feel like would throw to that base, but that's not the case. You have to use the D-pad, and I don't know. My mind wants to hit certain buttons to throw in certain directions or something. I'm not really sure why. But even for pitching, you have to use a D-pad to, for different pitches and things. It was a little confusing at first, and then in the outfield, trying to get your player to a certain point in the field to try to catch the ball, and it just, I don't know, it feels awkward. Overall, it's not a terrible game. But with no nostalgia to back this one up for me, it would be hard not to play something else that's a bit newer than this. I do like some of the little details that they threw in, however. The players blowing bubbles with their gum or breaking a bat if they strike out. Some really nice touches there. But I'm not sure about this one. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think I'll just have to give it some more time and see if I really could get into it and see if I can find myself really enjoying it. All right, so we got one more game in here that I wasn't expecting. Oh, that's all good anyways. All good. So, and what side is the front of this? Why does that feel funny? Something about that feels different than a traditional Super Nintendo case. It's odd. Okay, well anyways, we'll just pull it out of the box, because there's nothing else in said box. We're good there. Alright, here we go. Ready? This is Hole 1 Golf. Is that what that says?
Yep. Hole-in-one golf.
Oh, Hole-in-one Golf. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hole-in-one Golf. Yeah, so see that? That's why I was having trouble with that. It's shaped differently.
Yep.
So,
some of them are.
Yeah, I never knew that. The Super Nintendo I never had when I was younger, and so I'm not familiar with their gaming library. And that's one thing that's always been kind of fun, over these last couple of years, is getting into different libraries that different consoles had. So, Hole-in-one Golf. I'm curious to know if this would be like a regular golf, or would this be like a mini golf?
It's regular golf.
Is it?
Yeah, it's normal golf. I got that one. It's the first golf game I ever owned and played.
Really?
Yeah, it's the first one I've ever had. And,
very cool.
And I remember liking it. Once again, as far as sports titles go, I believe, I guess the internet might have a varying opinion on that, but I do believe as far as like golf games of the era concerned, that's also once again up there.
Right. Okay.
The best one or better ones, I do believe it's better than like some of your generic golf games.
Okay.
So I could be totally wrong about that. Maybe it's just like a lost love type of thing. I remember that era too fondly, maybe. But like I said, it was the first golf game I ever owned and played, and I enjoyed it as a child. So I mean, hopefully that translates to 30 years later.
Well, we can definitely find out. This one also has a sticker on the back, not from the store that we got it from. McVan's. Video Game Trader.
Yep, shout out to McVance.
Yeah.
Whoever you are.
I've never heard of them. And it says they got 3 locations, and I'm not familiar with any of that. So, I don't know. Maybe they don't even exist anymore. But I don't mind getting, some stickers and stuff on some of my games because it kind of gives it a little character.
Yeah.
A little bit of history of where it's been.
Well, when you first pulled it out, I didn't right away notice it because, like I said, I just kind of grabbed a couple recognizable titles. It's like, well, there's a couple bucks left to kill here.
Yeah.
And, let's throw in something for funsies for the video and so forth, So I didn't notice the sticker on the back, so you pull it out of the box, I was like, oh man, is that from an old rental store?
Oh,
we're going to find a sticker from like a Mammoth or something?
Yeah, right, yeah. So, okay. Well, again, I know nothing about this game, but I don't mind me a good golf game every now and then. It's laid back, can be relaxing, can be frustrating as hell, but...
It's golf.
Yeah, it's golf. Let's pop this into the Super Nintendo, and let's check out some gameplay from Hole-in-One Golf. Oh, Hole-in-One Golf. This is not a good game. This one's bad. This game feels really, really clunky to me. The swing of the club to hit the ball feels incredibly fast, and it's hard to get an accurate shot or a powerful enough shot. Trying to get a good shot, period, is simply frustrating. The top-down view of the gameplay also feels awkward to me. It's nearly impossible to figure out how far your shots are going to go. So even if you can get a good shot, it's easy to overshoot where you're trying to go. So just overall, this game, I mean, visually it's okay, I guess, but it feels really awkward to me. It feels weird. The actual gameplay itself is just frustrating, and I simply didn't have a whole lot of fun with this one. There are many golf games out there, and this one's just not for me. Alright, so that was some gameplay of all of the games in this box, and again, for less than $55, to get, what is that? 8 games amongst 4 different consoles. I'm very happy with that. Now, as I like to do, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to take all these titles, look them up on price charting, which I think he's already done while he was in the store, so he could, at least you had mentioned some of that, when we were talking. Yeah. But just to see what these prices are looking like. So for Nostalgic Nick's very first retro game mystery box, we'll see how far that $55 went and what the value's looking like. Alright guys, we're back from the old price charting machine. So how did Nostalgic Nick do with my $55? Did I come out ahead? Didn't pull it. Did I come out ahead, behind, or right on the nose? Well, he mentioned before that I actually got change back, which I did. So overall, he actually spent, out of the 55, he spent $51.63. Now, with all the games added up on price charting, what they are currently going for at the time of this recording. So again, this fluctuates all the time, so depending on when you see this, it might not be 100% accurate later on. But at the time of this recording, all games combined come out to $79.52. So that is coming out way ahead by quite a bit. A complete turnaround from the other boxes that I was getting, where I was being shorted either like $21, $22 or more. I actually got shorted on the very first one like $28. Like, it was quite a bit. So now to be, with all these games combined ahead, almost $28. That is remarkable. And I knew this was a good idea.
What's hilarious is the first time you got shorted like $28, and your first time with me, you're up $28, right?
Yeah.
So now it's going to be slightly less each time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each time I go to a new game store, I'm only going to be able to get above like $10 or something.
Hey, but that's still ahead, and that's a lot better off.
I'll find a way to get ahead somehow.
Yes, this guy knows the deals. He knows how to get them. and he can make things. He can make things happen, and he definitely made it happen here. So several games that I am very happy to add to my collection, and I had a lot of fun doing this. And I do want to thank my buddy here, Nostalgic Nick, for doing this with me.
You want to be really fun? I just thought of this.
Uh-oh.
This is a genius idea.
Actually,
you were running down the totals, right?
Yeah.
You were like, he spent this much and got this much. Why don't we just bring back Supermarket Sweep, dude? And it's all video games.
A Supermarket Sweep for video games?
You know what I mean? Yeah. If you got a game store and you want to help a brother out, we will host a Supermarket Sweep for your video game store. It'll be a real hit, I'm telling you. It's good stuff.
Go and see what you got to spend and just try to find the best deals.
That's right. Yeah, and see if you can find the coupons and stuff, or maybe there's like a game laying around. You know what I mean? That's got
kind of got slid underneath.
Yeah, it's been stuck under there with a price tag from 5 years ago.
Well, I'm very happy with this. To be that ahead for once is really, really nice. And again, several games I'm happy to add to my collection. And I had a good time doing this. I greatly appreciate you coming out and doing this with me. And I, for one, hope to do this again in the future. Yeah. I enjoyed doing this, and I think it's something I want to continue to do.
It was a blast. Indeed.
So, with that, let us know in the comments below if you're familiar with any of these games and which one may be your favorite pickup from the box. I'd be curious to know that. So, one last time, before signing off, Nostalgic Nick, he has that website. That website is in the description box below for laser engraved goodies and for several other things on that website too. I don't know if you want to run through that one more quick time.
Yeah, I mean, so our hot thing right now is the stuff that we're laser engraving and making ourselves, and those products are presently expanding as I've gotten familiar with the tool and the machine to do it, and very excited about it. I think they're really nice. In addition to that, we have print-on-demand products. I'm wearing one of our hats, actually. Some of them are designs I've made myself. Some of the shoes are really cool. And then we also have accessories, controllers, memory cards, plushies, cool stuff like that, as well as parts to repair consoles with. And with an expanding inventory. This isn't a shrinking inventory, it's an expanding one. So there'll be more as time goes on. You can also check out Nostalgic Nick's on YouTube or TikTok or all your social medias. Instagram, Facebook is Nostalgic Nick's 90s. I know it's a lot of information, but just remember Nostalgic Nick, you'll find me.
Yep. And if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already so you don't miss out on any other gaming related content coming here to the channel, whether it's live stream replays, videos just like this, or anything else that I just kind of randomly decide to do. And with that being said, I think we're out.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I hope you all enjoyed it. And stay tuned for the channel. We hope to do this again soon. Yep. So until then, I'm D. I'm the Grim Gamer.
I'm Nostalgic Nick.
We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.